517 to scanner control. 517 to scanner control.
You want to come and Jawa with you?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Star Wars Study, the Jawa Juice podcast. Oh my goodness. It's time again, and this time we got so much news. Insane stuff to talk about. Like, I mean, obviously we couldn't be more excited finally seeing the trailer for episode 9, Star Wars Celebration. All the news and leaks and interviews and everything else about everything Star Wars. So much to talk about, so little time. What's up, Caleb?
Oh, just continually watching. I've watched a whole Star Wars movie with how many times I've watched the trailer. So if you add up the time, I'm pumped.
Honestly, though. Oh, yeah. I mean, for sure. It's going to be, so far, I'm pretty excited and I'm pretty optimistic about the direction that Star Wars is headed right now. So
no, I totally agree.
I couldn't be happier,
I was really, really tentative walking into the trailer. I was very scared, but the teaser trailer did a fantastic job. So it gets me excited for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This episode, where I think we're going to mostly focus on episode 9 and not be as structured as we would normally do it with a quick question in the news and then, then a debate or something like that. I think we're just going to dive right into the trailer and talk about potential episode 9 theories and how it might impact the story and episode 9 in general. So, yeah, I think that's kind of where we're going to be starting out, and we're just going to go through it and talk about all the questions that we have and hopefully answer some of them.
Yeah, we'll make some conjectures, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. Man.
Oh, of course.
So, the only place to start, I guess, is at the beginning of the trailer. We see Rey on a desert planet. And,
beautiful.
Breathing heavy, and she's by herself.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of tough to tell where it was. We've kind of seen
the question.
Yeah, the one desert planet we've seen, so far has been Jakku, where she's grown up. But
right.
Obviously, a lot of the Star Wars story has circled around Tatooine, so
yeah,
it's really interesting.
The few hints that we have, based off of location and how they present the planet, it looks to me more like Tatooine than Jakku, but it could easily just be a completely different planet as well.
Yeah, because
Jakku had the rolling hill, the rolling sand hills. This is more rocky and more similar to what Tatooine would have been, with where Obi-Wan was hiding out and where R2-D2 wandered off to.
The one thing is we don't see the iconic two suns in the sky.
Yeah.
That's my one thing is we just see one sun, but they kind of cover it in the clouds, So
yeah.
I don't know. I think they're trying to obviously be discreet on where it is, on purpose. But
oh yeah, absolutely.
But then
if you had to put your money down, where do you think it would be?
I think the rocks definitely look like Tatooine. As you keep going, and then we get the shot of the ship coming in.
Yeah, the skiff with Poe and Finn.
No, even with when the.
Oh, you mean just with
Kylo Ren's looking ship?
Yeah, Kylo Ren's maybe ship.
Yeah, question mark. We get a nice shot of the rocks, and it really looks like the pot where the pod races took place, or where we see R2-D2 and C-3PO wandering around. It really does look like it. So I think it's got to be Tatooine. That's my guess.
Yeah,
it'd be kind
if
of.
I had to guess right now, I would guess Tatooine as well.
If you're gonna end a saga, why not end it where it starts?
Yeah, and I think I'm sure that's what JJ was probably hoping to think.
Yeah, so a nice cyclical ending.
Yeah, because he was kind of like that with, he did the inverse of episode 4 with episode 7, kind of, in a lot of ways. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to end it with homage to episode 4 again. So, yeah, I could definitely see that. Okay, so I think they're more likely to be on Tatooine than they are to be on Jakku, and they're more likely to be on, I really don't think they're on Jakku. It's either Tatooine or it's another planet.
Yeah.
At least personally.
I agree. Then what do you think about Rey pretty much keeping the same lightsaber except just repairing it?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think that's one thing I was disappointed in.
Yeah.
I was really hoping she'd get a double-bladed lightsaber.
So badly.
Because, I mean,
so great.
If she fought with the staff like the whole movies, I mean, I was hoping she'd, convert her staff into a double-bladed lightsaber.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a really cool thing, and something we haven't seen before is a, light side force user in the movies with a double-bladed lightsaber.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been really cool.
I totally agree. It would have been so sick. I mean, there's still room for it to happen, obviously. Like, there's definitely a chance that they're, again, I guess the baseline that we have to set right off the rip is that this could easily, a lot of this trailer could just be trying to throw us off. Because the original trailer for episode 7, in a lot of ways, was pretty deceptive and tried to throw us off. It was a teaser for a reason.
Yeah.
And, we all thought Poe was going to be the next Jedi, So, that was...
Yeah.
Finn. I mean, we all thought... I'm sorry, Finn.
Yeah,
we all thought that Finn was going to be the next Jedi. And, obviously that wasn't the case. But... So I'm just trying to, I don't want to jump to too many conclusions because I totally think that JJ could be trying to throw us off with this first teaser.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, we also saw the leaked poster and she's holding Luke's lightsaber, so it makes me feel like that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, more than likely. But again, they could be trying to surprise us. Who knows? Who knows?
Because in episode 6, Luke's training wasn't complete until he made his own lightsaber. That just would have been cool. But yes, let's keep going. Next, after we see the really, really cool shot of Rey flipping over the ship, which is a sick scene.
Well, I guess we need to ask, what do you think about Rey? Kylo's ship, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's Kylo Ren. That's really interesting.
Because
a lot of this trailer's made it really interesting because we see Kylo Ren's helmet being rebuilt, but who knows if that's Kylo Ren? That could be Hux remaking it so he can take some sort of control, or I don't know if it's
Kylo Ren. Why would you be driving? Why would you be flying your ship towards an obviously powerful Force user who is at least decent with a lightsaber? Obviously the trailer's trying to make you think she's gonna destroy half of the ship right there, right? She's gonna use the lightsaber and cut off half the ship.
Yeah, and then it crashes, and then they fight.
Yeah, but why would you even do that? It makes no sense. I don't know.
Yeah, it is weird.
If you're Kylo, it makes no sense to do. But if you're somebody else, then maybe you're just dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, just because if Kylo Ren just stays up there and just keeps blasting around.
Yeah, exactly. They show Kylo Ren's gloves. But that could easily be from any cut of of these last 2 movies. So again, it could 100% be deception from JJ, which I really appreciate that. You get you hyped without actually even telling you what's actually happening. That's great. That's the ideal trailer. So I'm hoping
a movie's bad. This is what I always say. You always know a movie's bad if you get the whole story in the trailer. If you see
they're using all their cards to try to get you to come.
Yeah, exactly. If they're using all their laughs and they're telling you major plot points, that's not a good movie.
Yeah.
That's why you can tell most DC movies are bad.
Preach.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that's the thing. So it's I'm not convinced it's exactly his ship because the ship itself is different than the one that we saw in episode 8. It's similar, very similar, but not the exact same.
It could easily just be a special forces guy, the special forces are after Rey.
Yeah,
we see those new kind of red stormtrooper guys in the teaser poster or whatnot. I feel, and we've seen definitely multiple special forces.
Okay, well, think about that. In episode 6, Luke cuts off the speeder that's flying at him on Endor.
Classic.
Okay? So now in the 3rd movie of this trilogy, Rey is going to cut off a ship that's flying at her too.
Yeah.
It could be another type of thing where JJ's just trying to pay homage to
Yeah.
episode 6, and he wanted a cool shot for the trailer. So, like, it could legitimately be such a puny little thing on the in the whole story. Like, it could literally just be a storm, like a special.
Yeah, it might even barely
pilot.
slow down. You know, she jumps, flips, cuts it, and then she just keeps going. Like,
Yeah, like it's possible. It doesn't have to be Kylo. It doesn't have to be like Darth Maul in episode 1, where he, they're fighting in the middle of the desert like that with lightsabers. Like, it doesn't have to be that.
for sure. What do you think? Do you think that Poe and Finn and Rey are going to be split up, or are they going to be, since we've seen like shots on the same planet, are they all going to be working together, or are they going to be split up?
Well, I mean, overall in the trailer, we saw them all together looking out at the Death Star.
Yeah, which I'm really happy because we have not seen them work all three of them together this whole trilogy.
Which is why this is very nice. I'm definitely down for that.
Yeah, I mean,
and
I think that's why 6 has such great appeal, is because, Luke, Leia, and Han all are on one mission,
and Chewbacca. Yeah, and like C-3PO, R2-D2.
Yeah, everybody.
They're all stuck in the net together,
Exactly.
Like, they're very close with each other in that movie, which is great.
Yeah, I think, and that's what you want. You want all your main characters to like have this bond, and like Rey's like what, just now meeting Poe, like at the end of the last movie,
right? Yeah,
like that's crazy. I mean,
it is wild
because Leia, Luke, and like in the first movie, in A New Hope, they they meet each other, they rescue the princess, Leia together.
Yeah,
and like they go on this great mission through the they go on this mission through the Death Star. They're with Obi-Wan, like, and
they're
we have not
all together the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. That's my biggest gripe with the trilogy thus far, is like our main characters are so disconnected, and like Rey doesn't have like anything to be fighting for, like. Obviously, like Han in the first movie, his motivation was money, which is cool. I mean, like, you gotta have some motivation. And obviously, like, Luke was learning everybody too, but that's the first movie of trilogy, and you can get away with that. But like, they all develop a relationship and bond, and I think blowing up the Death Star together is a pretty big bond.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
But like these guys, they blew up Starkiller Base with like not even knowing each other's name.
No.
Or like seeing each other's face.
That was definitely a missed opportunity there for the whole movie, and like both movies.
Yeah, I mean,
overall,
with like 7, you can get away with it because like they were so separate, they were so far apart.
It's the first movie.
Yeah, it's the first movie, but like
good old Ryan.
Then Rian Johnson's just like, nope. I mean, I would have. This movie, I feel like episode 9 could have easily, like, this could be episode 8.
Easily.
Because we didn't need to see episode 9. Like,
you mean 8?
Yeah, I mean 8. We didn't need to see episode 8.
The only important thing that happened was Snoke dying.
Yes. But you could have had that happen in any sort of different way. And like, I don't know, like, this could have easily, episode 8 could have been a summary in the yellow text rolling across the screen. Easily. And
for the most part, like, almost everything in it could have been very simple to summarize.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I mean, yes, like, I think Rey could have gone to save Kylo Ren, and that could have been part of episode like 8 in some way, but
yeah.
But it didn't even need to happen. Like, this,
no.
Like, I finally feel like we're getting new action in the movies. Like, here in the last movie, I feel like finally new stuff is happening.
Well, because it was all within the same sequence.
Yeah, and it was exactly, like, just having the movies with no separation. It's like, there's just no room for imagination, and like, not like the characters, like,
and then it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's important for like everything to have like breath and to like have time to take a second, and so that because you want the audience to make and draw their own conclusions, because like, as a movie, it's a weird thing. It's like you're half mindless watching, but your brain's also like half actively participating.
Right.
And like,
yeah, of course,
you want to show don't tell, right?
Yeah.
And I think by not letting any time in between, Like you didn't allow for a show don't tell. And so now we're finally going to get it, but it sucks. It just sucks because this movie does look great.
I know.
But like it doesn't feel like it's the end of the saga.
No, it doesn't. It feels like it should be the second one.
Like it feels like this should be the second movie. Because,
yeah, it really does.
Because in any resolution, I feel like you could keep going. Like in any way this movie has an outcome, I'm like, no, you could totally keep going with this.
Yeah, agreed. So okay, so with that said, so I guess back to the trailer, we see. So okay, that's the decision. Kylo's ship, we don't know. Hopefully, maybe not. Who knows? Then the next shots we see is like,
it's really
the ship, the dark scene of that new planet with the ship flying in.
You know what the planet kind of reminds me of?
What?
You remember in Rogue One the base where the Death Star plans
the Empire
were on?
base.
Yeah, where Jyn Erso's dad was.
Yeah.
Like it really reminds, like with all the rocks and it being dark, it really reminds me of that base.
It's really similar. Yeah.
And we see that ship, and obviously
and that's where the theories come in.
Man, those
Insert
rocks,
theories.
it really does look like in Rogue One.
Oh, it looks really similar. Yeah. Okay, so like the theory has been now is that this ship that's flying in is, theoretically the same ship that we see in the Force Awakens, where Rey's parents are leaving Jakku.
To me, it doesn't look the same. Like it looks more like an A-wing to me than it does.
Yeah,
because like the ship had a fatty bottom, like on
just like, how you like it.
Yeah, it had a fat bottom. Girls, you make the rocket world go round. It just looks too skinny to be
yeah,
because it's flying fast, and the other one was like more of a transport shuttle type.
Yeah, I agree.
And this one's zooming pretty. I mean, obviously.
I agree. It doesn't look. I don't think it is. But that was the theory that was flying around. I know, like, Stupendous Wave was talking about it. So, it's possible, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
But I'm really curious because this planet, there's a ton of lights. It's like a city kind of hidden away.
Yeah. Well, that was one thing. The trailer showcased so many cool locations. Like, I really appreciate all of the cool settings that looks like this is going to have. Like, that was another thing with Episode 8. So much of it was in space, and it was such a dark movie. Like every scene seemed to be dark and like dim.
Yeah, and like even the way with the nice green island was shot, where they were, it was
raining.
It was tinted and dark, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the mood. I mean, I get like they kind of overplayed the fact that this was going to be a downer. That was supposed to be like a downer movie.
Well, yeah, but then they threw in all those jokes to make it happy, which.
Don't do
it. Yeah, it didn't make sense.
Star Wars isn't the Avengers.
No, but
Ryan
Johnson didn't understand that.
Man, I can't believe that guy's getting a trilogy. Like we're bagging on him, but it's okay. Like, I just think the fact that like, the thing that he can't take a genuine criticism of his movie is a little.
I know, like he doubles down on it. Like I was trying to split the fan base. Okay, sure.
Yeah. Like no, I don't think so. I think you're trying to sell as many or more tickets as Episode 7. Like
Yeah.
That's kind of like how a coach's job is winning. It's like a director's job is kind of to sell tickets.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. But okay, so I guess we both agree that we don't think it's the same ship. So
yeah, I don't. But do you think it could be the same planet that?
Probably not. I bet it's a new one. Yeah, probably. I'd say probably a new one.
That's a great shot.
I don't know. It's a cool shot though. So then the next kind of thing we see is Kylo throwing this man or this thing or this beast to the ground with his lightsaber
he's got like
in
an
hand.
axe in his hand.
Yeah. It's another awesome shot. And you get like that cinematic bass drop, like the when they're going down. It's nice.
Yeah, and he doesn't
the trailer is amazing. I love the trailer so much.
And talk about cool locales. Like they have the whole scene in just this red tint.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of the thought is like, is this potentially some type of flashback to the Star Killer base, because it's the same hue that the planet had when Star Killer base was shooting its laser. Yeah. And so, like, is this like a flashback to when the Force Awakens was like building the ship, or like they're like killing a village, like slaying another village or something like that? Like,
yeah, I don't know. The interesting thing is, like, his you're right. Like, his face doesn't have a scar there.
Exactly.
That's why everybody's thinking it's a flashback. And I see it because I'm looking at his face, and, like, that's the side the scar's on.
Yeah.
And there's no scar.
It doesn't look like there's a scar, exactly, unless it's somehow not showing up. But
yeah, or, it's just they haven't edited it in yet.
Or, yeah. Exactly. Like, again, just to throw you off.
Yeah.
Again, directors are smart, man. They know we know JJ's good with trailers. We know he is. So
no, yeah, episode 7 trailer is a lot of the reason I think it did so well.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was so good. So, and this one lived right up to the expectation. So that was the thing, is like, I mean, based off what exactly we see in that, I feel like it has to be a flashback.
Yeah.
But like, and we did see flashbacks in The Force Awakens, so JJ's not afraid to do flashbacks.
Here's an interesting thought I just had.
Okay.
What if Kylo Ren put Rey on Jakku as a kid?
They wouldn't have been old enough. He wouldn't have been old enough.
Would he not have been old enough?
No.
Is there an age difference?
There's an age difference. But it's not big enough for that to be the case.
Dang.
Again, we'll get to that. We'll get to that soon enough. Let's keep going through the trailer, and then we'll talk about more theories.
Okay.
Obviously, we have so many more to talk about. Okay, so yeah, I don't know who that potentially could be. I saw Stupendous Wade was talking about how it could be, like, in The Force Awakens, how when he jabs that, like, dude wearing that hat in the flashback, like, he like stabs him, like, right in front of Rey. Like, potentially it could be that same species of person, or whoever that was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's too much. It's probably too hard to tell. So then the next, we get like a 1 second little clip of an A-wing crashing, and there was some conversation about what ship was in the background, what command ship was in the background. I know we just talked about this before we started recording. Like, was there potential that this could be a Republic command ship? Is this just another classic, First Order command ship? What is it?
We were looking at this pretty hard.
Yeah.
So the one thing that really made people feel like that it was a Republic ship is that there was paint on the sides.
The red paint, yeah.
Yeah, the red paint on the sides of the ship, which, if you look at those Venator class, the classic ones from the Clone Wars, and even in the opening scene of, Episode 3, it had that paint. The one interesting thing, it was on the outside, not on the inside.
Yeah, and Episode 3 was on the inside.
Yeah, it was, it was a racing stripe.
Yeah.
And on here, it's like, it's on
it's outlining the top.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, we looked at the command post, like, the
bridge.
The bridge. And the Venator has a really distinct one with two command decks, 2 bridges, and it's like they're very long on the top, and with Imperial ones, they're skinny, like, obviously the classic, the 2 balls on the top.
Yeah.
Shot. So, and looking at it, it looked a lot more like, just the classic.
Yeah,
normal.
the bridge looks definitely more like the basic command ship.
Yeah, just an Imperial.
Yeah. So it's hard to say. The colors. Again, it could just be a brand new ship, and we're just overthinking it. But it was definitely interesting, and there's potential that it could be something else.
I mean, anything that ties into clones, like,
I'm all in
fantastic.
For it. Yeah,
like, I'm all in. If there's any tie whatsoever, like, I'm all in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'm fine. I'd be totally fine with that. I'd honestly hope for it, but yeah, pretty interesting.
So then through the trailer, we kind of move through. We see the shots of, like, R2. We see the shots of Poe and Finn, kind of basic stuff.
But no, the Poe and Finn one's interesting. I want to talk about that for a sec.
All right. Fire away.
It's the like we see them on like a desert skiff, like shooting across. And looking at it and looking at the like original skiff, it really does look like the one in Jabba's palace, like that they were about to get.
Oh,
jumped
I know.
up.
It looks extremely similar.
And the other one it kind of looks like too is Infus Nest from.
Oh, interesting.
It kind of looks like the Infus Nest ships that they were speeding on. What planet was that? That they they made the Cussle run. Thoughts? That could be potentially it too. No. When they get back and they transfer the fuel.
Oh.
And and that's where Infus Nest was.
Oh shoot! Off the top of my head, I don't know actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I do not remember. It was really briefly mentioned.
Yeah.
But that's another desert planet. That's a possibility.
True. Good call. So.
But but the thing is also there's tons of moisture. Like they're running through moisture farm.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's so similar to Tatooine,
And then the other thing is jetpacks.
I know, dude. The jetpacks. That's sick. I'm really excited about that. That's cool. Definitely needed.
It's really epic.
Yeah. So another awesome shot. Like just such a sick shot. Imagine we had to go into recording those shots, man. Oh my goodness, the film, like the cranes you'd have to have, and on like the tracks you'd have to hit those shots is insane. Epic. But regardless, those shots were again fairly. Like not too telling of what anything could potentially happen. Then we get to the most interesting shots. Well, shot is the Death Star shot, which was insane. So sick. When that pops up, you're like, what? Like, what is that? Is that the Death Star? Like it really it makes an emotional response, and everyone's there. Rey, Poe, Finn.
It's great. Interesting. I'm looking at the outfit of Poe and Finn, and it's different. They're like different than when they're on this planet. So
yeah, I mean it's definitely not the same planet for sure. Oh, and Poe has an injury. Do you see that?
Really?
Poe, his left arm is tied up.
Let me see.
Yeah, are you there? Are you on the trailer right now? But yeah, like so Poe. His arm has like a armband around the left side.
Oh yeah, it does.
And he's holding
holding it.
He's holding it like he's hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Poe might get shot up a little bit.
Well, that'd be exciting.
Yeah. And we see C-3PO, we see Chewbacca at the back, BB-8, his little friend.
Yeah. No, what an epic shot.
Oh, it's
just
so
to
nice.
End the trailer.
So then,
and obviously,
the question is, what planet is this? And what is the Death Star? What role is the Death Star going to play? / then we hear Palpatine's laugh and everyone flips out. And how is that going to play into it? Is that going to be part of the Death Star storyline? How is that going to work? There's so many questions that these last 15 seconds create. So I don't know. Where do you want to start with all these questions? What planet is this? Because basically, there's two options. Either this is Death Star 1 or this is Death Star 2. So either it's on Yavin for Death Star 1 or it's on Endor for Death Star 2. And neither option make that much sense.
Well, the thing is, when it blows up, we don't know if there's chunks.
Well, yeah, that's the weird thing. Is that, when you see it on screen,
there's very little left. I mean, this could have crashed anywhere.
You think?
I don't know.
You think there's a chance it's not either one of those two planets?
Yeah, I think so.
What?
Or maybe they try to transport this somewhere and try to start building it again, and then
it'd be hard to explain if you're I
don't know. But I think it kind of reminds me again of the Rogue One, the one base where they were building it. Or where Jyn Erso grew up or something with all the water and stuff. But it's exciting. I mean, we had kind of heard about the Hayden Christensen maybe coming back to do Force Ghost stuff. And so that makes me really excited that hopefully Palpatine is going to be a Force Ghost.
Yeah, well the thing with Palpatine is so we'll get to the Palpatine thing, I guess. We have never seen a Force user ghost.
That's not true. Well, not in the
Well, yeah,
movies.
in the movies.
But in the Clone Wars,
Yeah. But in
we see
the only
like
crossover from the Clone Wars that we have seen is literally Darth Maul in Solo.
Yeah, that and Solomon's character from Rogue One.
Yeah, from Rogue One. Yep, you're right. I got you. Can't remember his name, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes. Oh man, I hate blanking names.
Yeah. So I mean, we haven't seen it in actually any of the Skywalker story saga.
Yeah.
So
it's true, but I really think that there's going to be Sith Force ghosts, and I think that Kylo Ren's going to either get some training or maybe it's a holocron.
Yeah.
Like there are Sith holocrons out there. I'm sure Palpatine made some.
Wasn't that similar to what was talked about in the Battlefront 2 campaign? Was how Luke was searching for Sidious stashes.
Yeah, exactly. And Luke found it. He found one of them. It was like a secret base of theirs.
Yeah.
And maybe even Darth Vader kept holocrons on there or something like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, you'd have to assume that Kylo, he knows he's not a complete Sith yet. He's barely, I mean, at the end of Force Awakens, Snoke tells him to come back and finish his training.
To complete his training. But he hasn't yet.
The next movie starts right away.
Because then we see him go to Snoke, and he's like, you're just a little boy or whatever. And then he smashes the mask. That's not completing the training.
No.
And Rey didn't complete her training either because, 2 of the 3 lessons with Luke.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
And one of them where she tickles her hand with, a reed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not. Neither of their trainings are complete. So you have to assume that Kylo is going to go and search for someone to help him complete his training. Right?
Yeah, and he's going to use Ghost Force Sidious.
Sidious.
Which is so cool. That's just absolutely epic.
Because JJ did confirm that Ian McDiarmid was in studio. So we know that he's going to have some type of actual role in the movie where Ian McDiarmid,
at least his voice.
At least a voice. Ian McDiarmid said after the trailer and everything, he said he was happy to be part of the tease. And he said the theme of the panel and the trailer was the word tease. So don't take it too seriously. It was his exact words. So he's definitely playing down how much he's in the movie. Which is interesting, again, you can never take anything too seriously when it comes to this type of stuff because you never know what they're trying to say.
They're trying to throw in red herrings. Yeah. They're trying to make you lose the scent.
Yeah.
But man, I think it's sweet, and it kind of ties back, to Rey's Force vision.
Yeah.
Where, at the beginning of 7, she sees the Death Star walking, and I think, in Dagobah, Luke goes down and there's a great, Sith presence. And you have to think that inside the Death Star, there's got to be a giant Sith presence.
Right. The soul of Darth Sidious,
Yeah.
That's why I feel it's more likely to be the second one. It's hard to imagine, when we see, what we see from the trailer, it's hard to imagine that that's Endor. We've only seen Endor the forest. Sure, it's a moon. I'm sure it's bigger. But at the same time, is it really going to look like that? I don't know if it is. So it's definitely weird. It's throwing me off both ways. Yavin 4 doesn't seem to look like this either. But if Palpatine's involved, you'd think this is the second Death Star. So.
Yeah, but the second Death Star is the whole size of a whole planet.
Yeah.
It's giant.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's super exciting. I'd love to see a bunch of Force Ghosts and Force Ghost training. What else are they going to do? There's nothing else to do. Snoke's gone. Luke's gone. All we have is 2 Padawans.
Yeah, literally. They're not even Jedi or Sith,
No. Yeah, exactly. And
so, do you think that Palpatine... is there any way that Palpatine is connected to Rey?
I'd love it. I'd love it if here at the end, Kylo switches and Rey switches.
It's not going to happen.
I'd love a switcheroo.
Again, I think it's very likely that Kylo, switches. I think it's impossible that Rey switches. But
yeah, I think you're right.
like, could it be a situation where Rey finds out that she is Palpatine's granddaughter? Like,
she goes to, or that she's, the chosen one.
yeah, that like she was the chosen one. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. It says the rise of the Skywalker. So that means to me, I think Kylo Ren, that has to mean she like either Rey's a Skywalker or Kylo Ren wins.
Or the other option is that Rey creates a new sect of Jedi and she calls them the Skywalker. Like,
I guess.
The Rise of Skywalker, so like the Skywalker training, like it's the new Jedi Order, it's the Skywalker Order.
And what, Kylo Ren and her team up?
To create a new order of Skywalker Jedi.
Let the past die and let both light and dark kind of
win together.
Team up together.
Yeah.
It seems like a half-baked ending.
No, again, I think I truly believe that the Knights of Ren are still going to be involved in this. Like, the next trailer is going to reveal that in some way. And the Darth Sidious, they knew that Sidious's laugh would be enough to throw this trailer into the spotlight,
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, it went from, oh, maybe, to, this might be good, to holy smokes, this is amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like they had that for this surprise for the Skywalker, or for the teaser. So now for the next trailer, which I'm sure will come out like early fall, maybe late summer, early fall probably. That's
somewhere in that August, September range.
October range. We're in there probably. Yeah. Then that's when we'll see like the Knights of Ren or something like that, probably, which would be so sick, and I can't wait. But the other interesting like tidbit when it comes to Kylo and like the story in general was there was a behind the scenes reel that was shown at like Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
And the behind the scenes reel was talking about like all the Star Wars movies, but they showed a few clips, like a few like second long clips from episode 9. And they first showed Kylo on the desert planet that we see in the trailer. And then they show Poe, Finn, and Rey and Chewbacca and C-3PO all sitting there, and looks like Poe is the one that's holding the lightsaber.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know if it was a weird angle or if it was true.
Yeah.
What if this movie's like a treasure hunt, Josh? Just like thinking it through.
I mean,
what if both Rey and Kylo Ren, like, both of the Force Ghosts tell them they need this one thing to complete their training,
and they're both
like on both sides,
and
they're both
Wow, it's gonna be like National Treasure.
Yeah, exactly. And they're both racing for the decoration.
Honestly, though, it might be.
I mean, they're both racing to this desert planet, and they're trying to find,
And they both end up at the Death Star.
Yeah, they're trying to find, I don't know, the last, something.
Yeah.
The last Sith temple, or,
maybe
something of huge importance, or, Death Star plans.
Or what if the whole thing was like Kylo's trying to let Palpatine out, or like allow Palpatine to come back?
Yeah, he's trying to resurrect him.
And Rey's trying to stop him the whole time?
Yeah. It could be the exact same thing. Like, I don't know where the plot's going to take him, because, like, yeah, I just don't know, because I don't think there can be a war, really.
I don't think it's going to be a full-fledged war this time, right?
No, it can't. They can't. They just don't have the numbers.
Well, maybe they do. Again, they could, because of Lando opens up the door.
They bought another clone army from
Lando opens up the door, though. That's the thing. Like, you can just say Lando knew a lot of people, and now they have a big army again. Like, they could.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it's like, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I love a lot of the options. Like, I just feel like the Force Ghost thing makes a lot of sense. I don't see a situation where Palpatine actually is like in human form.
I don't think so either. We'll see. I think we'll see him. Like,
do you think that Palpatine's going to be linked
ghost
to Snoke? Do you think JJ's going to connect that?
I don't know. Like, have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Yeah. I mean, hey, once or twice.
I thought not.
Yeah, so it's like, I feel like, at least personally, I hope they do.
Unnatural.
Like, do you think it'd be better if he connects Snoke to Palpatine, or if he just kind of lets Snoke be the empty villain he is, and then this one's about Kylo in the search for Palpatine, and Kylo,
Man, I don't know.
and the Knights of Ren versus Rey and Luke, the Force Ghosts.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with Snoke. I think Snoke's gone. He was. I don't know. But
then we literally will know not one thing about Snoke. If this movie doesn't address Snoke, it makes them feel pretty empty.
Thanks, Rian Johnson.
Well,
we don't really know anything about Rey. If we don't learn anything about Rey this movie, we will not know anything about Rey.
Besides what we've seen, obviously.
Which is not much.
Like a few days worth of time. Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen her angry at Kylo Ren the whole time.
Poe and Kylo are definitely the most interesting characters.
Yeah. I'd say Poe and
I'm sorry,
Finn.
Why do I keep doing that? Finn and Kylo are the most interesting characters. Poe's interesting just because he's got cool skills. But Finn and Kylo definitely have the most depth of character. And, the starting of Episode 7 was really cool with them, their dynamic, and then,
It was, the movie felt like a lot more about Finn than it ever did Rey.
Yeah, exactly. Because he was, traitor!
Rey was just a means to an end. She was just powerful with the Force. So.
Again, she's always felt like a cheat code.
Yeah. It's just she's the trump card.
She's just we need to get here to do this. All right, Rey. Yeah.
We need something important and have nothing else.
Kylo I guess needs an enemy. Okay, Rey.
Yeah.
It feels Rey feels like the equivalent of a DC villain.
Yeah, she's just so
empty and just has enough power to meet with the other people, to match.
And then she meets anybody on the light side, and it's automatically we're best friends.
Yeah, it's really weird.
I meet Han Solo, you're my friend.
Yeah.
I meet Luke Skywalker, you're my friend.
Now, suddenly.
I'm going to hug Leia now, and I don't know her.
I still really hope that Leia hid Rey on Jakku without telling Han or Luke. Cuz in some type of way like that, where Han leaves Leia's pregnant, doesn't tell Han. Leia hides Rey because she's already scared of Ben.
Yeah, and it's what girl?
I know. What girl stuff from Episode 7, I can't get over it. I don't know how to get past that.
It's just
what girl? Wow, okay.
Yeah, he
obviously that there's some girl.
And how does Kylo Ren know so much in Episode 8 about Rey?
Yeah. I mean, apparently their minds connected. So
he
now
saw
into.
He saw. No, that's so not true. The only time they're in each other's head is the interrogation time, but he doesn't get everything there.
Yeah.
And Rey doesn't know herself, so it's yeah.
I know.
It's so silly.
That's the thing. It's they have so much to explain in this movie. Now they have to, ideally, if every fan if they wanted every fan to be happy, they'd have to address Rey's past, Snoke's past, Kylo versus Rey, Kylo now and Palpatine, and and then finish up the rest of the characters' stories. Like,
No,
and there's so much in that. Like, no wonder this movie's going to be like 3
too much
hours.
to unpack.
But
and you have to address it.
yeah.
And JJ knows that. JJ knows he has to address. Like, I think you can drop Snoke and be okay. Like, people will be sad, but it's not
Even
like
if you just made a line where like Palpatine in like would you be okay if Palpatine was the host, like was Snoke's host body, like Snoke was like his host body?
I'd be fine. It could just be a throwaway line of like, Snoke was one of my guards.
Like Snoke was like
a ward of mine or something, like, like if,
or you could just say, I used Snoke. Like, if you don't even have to explain it that much. You could just say, I used Snoke to manipulate, like, you find out that Palpatine used Snoke to manipulate Ben. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Something. Like, it could have been anything. Just...
But at the same time, does that
you could explain it.
Episode 6.
You could explain it in any way you want. Like, as long as there's an explanation. It can be a 5-second explanation. I think people will be pretty happy.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it could literally be any line. He could be anything. Like, you could say whatever you wanted. You could say that he found a Sith holocron and studied the Force.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You could just say, Snoke.
You could say he was a pirate. Like, it,
I don't know about that.
It doesn't matter.
But no, I know what you mean. Yeah. Anything could potentially work for the Snoke argument or the Snoke thought.
Yeah, and it could just be, if it's just, 5 seconds of closure, and I think, that could make people happy.
Yeah.
I don't think you could make people mad.
No, like with some explanation of Snoke. Because right now we have literally nothing, and everybody's like, what is Snoke? Like, we don't know. It does now feel extremely empty. Like, now that I'm so many months removed.
I mean, he is how, like...
Somehow, Kylo was able to learn and become a near Sith because of Snoke. Snoke was able to connect their minds, apparently. And Snoke was incredibly powerful with the Force, and we still don't know anything about him.
0. You could just say, like in the Rebels, there was the Inquisitors. You could say he was an Inquisitor under Palpatine. Just a guy, a person of Sith power that Darth Vader and, the Emperor used just, as kind of their pawns.
Yeah.
I
mean, if Kylo then, and so then Kylo would have heard about Palpatine being alive
through them
Snoke.
because Snoke served Snoke and Vader as just like a hand to them, to go kill Jedi, with more serious missions than you'd send just a commander, because they had Force power, but he kept him under his thumb.
Yeah, naturally.
But he still learned stuff. Or Snoke could have been a Jedi and then, realized that he would die unless he switched to the dark side, and so he switched over to the dark side, and Palpatine and Vader took him under his wing,
Yeah.
Like all Palpatine has to say, I took Snoke under my wing and manipulated his mind. Or
okay, so when Kylo's apparently Kylo still wants to be Darth Vader, right? Well, what's interesting is that
but we don't know, because he said let the past die. We don't know. Join me.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he let the past die by killing Snoke, right? In his mind.
And he wanted to kill both Snoke and Luke.
Yeah, like he wanted the past to literally die.
Yeah.
So it's like,
because he doesn't trust both sides.
No.
Which is interesting.
Because both sides have used him, or
yes, both sides have used him. Luke said it himself that he wanted, because of his hubris or whatever.
Yeah, he
and Snoke used him because he also wanted that nice Skywalker blood. Yeah. So he hated them both.
Yeah, exactly.
In the end, he grew to hate them both. And now it's like, I think he's gonna live somewhere in the middle. Honestly, I think he likes Rey.
He does. That's why it's impossible for me to see a world where he just suddenly becomes basically Darth Sidious, where he's this. like ultimate evil. Like I just don't see it.
I think he wants to run the world, and he wants to do it the way he wants to, just like Anakin did. Except he doesn't have attachments really, except to his mom.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Anakin went into becoming a Sith because he wanted to save Padme.
Yeah, which twisted him
because that's what.
But
Sidious
Kylo Ren's not trying to save anybody.
No.
He just wants to do it better than those two did.
He wants to finish what Vader started, though. That's kind of always been his thing.
Yeah. But I guess in his mind, Vader just wanted to rule the world the way he wanted to. And so that's not like inherently evil,
It depends how you rule.
Exactly. Now, by, serving, Lord Sidious, the most, the most powerful Sith of all time, who is just okay with killing planets willy-nilly.
Then, probably not as good.
It's pretty bad. Yeah. But yeah, I think it is the rise of Skywalker. I think Kylo Ren is he teeters in between, kind of like a Darth Revan. He goes, because Darth Revan went dark side, light side. He went light side, dark side, light side. He did all three and was one of the most powerful Jedi ever. And he fought with both a red lightsaber and a purple lightsaber.
Yeah. So it's I could definitely see something similar happening. And
yeah. He likes Rey.
He does. He definitely does.
But Rey's kind of annoying because again, she just blindly follows.
I know.
So that's I hate you. You're a monster. And she couldn't even. She couldn't even begin to. Kylo Ren said to her, "You would have been disappointed in Han Solo as a father."
Yeah.
He was mad about that. She couldn't begin to her 3 days with Han Solo or a week with Han Solo. Can't begin to understand Kylo Ren's whole life with him.
Yeah, exactly.
And the relationship he and Leia had, and clearly Kylo Ren was mad at Han because Han left.
Yeah, well, yeah, clearly.
Yeah, and so he was mad about it. So,
and he obviously cares about.
I don't know. Ray just acts with this it's this righteous arrogance.
Yeah.
It's
right. So I mean, it's gonna come into play.
She's just so overzealously I'm so good. We haven't seen her do anything, have to sacrifice anything. No, there's been no moral dilemma. There's been no peak, no valley.
This is why this feels like the second movie. It feels so much like the second movie.
When people call her a Mary Sue, it's kind of hard to argue against it. It feels so
wrong that this is the end of the Star Wars trilogy. It feels so wrong because this should be the second movie.
Yes. Because now that she's lost stuff, if we didn't see that clip and we think that Rey was with the rebels the whole time, and it was 2 years, and Kylo Ren has been snuffing them out, slowly to go into Episode 8, and now we think Rey's losing her friends left and right.
Yeah.
Instead of, then it's wow, she's got skin in the game. Man, Finn should have died. I think looking back, Finn should have died in 7.
In 7?
Kylo Ren should have cut up when he cut up his back. That should have killed him. Because then Rey now lost a friend. And now she has a real reason to hate
Kylo.
To really hate Kylo.
Because Kylo chose to let him live. Right?
Yeah.
Which makes no sense.
No, I mean, he cut his whole spinal cord. He should have been dead.
Yeah, I mean, but he lightly.
But I think the fact is that people liked him so much that they kept him in.
I guess.
Finn should have died twice in 2 movies.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. He should have died twice.
Because Finn is the best connection to Rey.
Again,
they have the closest. That is Rey's closest relationship. What kicked off Luke to join Obi-Wan was losing Uncle Ben and Aunt Beru.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you get the most beautiful score from John Williams ever. Yeah, when he's looking off into the desert sunset. Oh, jeez, John Williams, you're a legend. But yeah, Luke automatically has skin in the game there, right? Oh, I can't. I have, family. I have responsibility.
Yeah, moisture farming.
Boom, he loses everything.
Yeah.
His farm, his house, it's gone.
Right. He has nothing left. But Rey had nothing from the start. So
yeah, but but the problem is like Luke had a driving force though. Luke's driving force was, who was my dad? You know, my dad was this Jedi. I'm gonna be like him. Like there was a driving force behind. There was a motivation to do it. And this guy was my dad's best friend and like mentor and trainer. So I should go with him. Rey had like literally, no, I need to get back. I'm waiting on my family. And she should have stayed and waited on her family. Like, because she had to get back to Jakku. Like, it totally makes sense because she did need to. Because the same reason that Luke needed to get back to
there. Unless her family is here.
Yeah, so she has no driving force behind staying, except for the fact, like food and shelter, I guess.
Yeah. But like, no, that's the thing. So there's so much that has to get talked about in this movie.
She just needs motivation.
I know.
She does. She's lacking motivation so hard.
But like so far, from all the clips we've seen, unless this is all early on in the movie,
and it's not like it's not like I'm hating on the character. Like I liked the Rey Kylo Ren stuff. Like it's fine that she's mad, but I just need a reason.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be a reason. But again, I'm worried because now through this trailer, we see all of them together the whole time, so it doesn't look like any of them are gonna die.
No. I mean, and Han Solo didn't die, and stuff.
I mean, that was the thing. Han was the closest thing that she had to a father. So like that's kind of like the
But it was actually Kylo Ren's father, and that's the failed logic.
I know.
And it was a week to years. Years of pain for Kylo Ren for his dad leaving his mom.
But they use that as the excuse, like as like the loss that she took, that Han died.
Yeah, but it was so much more a loss for Kylo.
Right. I mean, that's the ironic part.
Yeah, the irony of it, it's like, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Again, he significantly loves his mom way more than his dad. Like, obviously,
clearly, because
he didn't pull the trigger on his mom.
Yeah, because he couldn't. Because he,
again, his mom should have died.
She has force powers, and she was probably talking to him.
Yeah.
And she's probably saying, I love you, like before.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it.
Yep. So overall, I'm pretty freaking excited for it, and the trailer was about as perfect as it could possibly be. I mean,
tells us nothing, but gives us so much.
Allows us to have an hour-long conversation about it. So that's about as good of a trailer as you can get. I mean, we literally didn't talk about anything Star Wars Celebration yet. The Mandalorian, which was the footage that we've seen,
which is great,
awesome. Can't wait for that. We didn't talk about.
We'll talk about that next time.
Jedi
for
Fallen
sure.
Order. Didn't talk about that at all, which looks pretty solid too.
Dude, I'm really excited for the Mandalorian. Though.
Same.
Like,
very excited.
It looks fantastic.
It does. I can't wait to see.
And I think if Disney allows them to give them to Reigns to have this be dark and gritty,
it's gonna be so good.
More like a Rogue One style,
so
like
good.
where
I mean, you just seen like IG-88 doing his thing too. Oh my goodness, so hype! I can't wait.
No, it's
great.
great.
Wait for more.
Everybody loves the bounty hunters. Boba Fett's the favorite character, and he had like 5 lines.
Yeah, exactly. So overall, guys,
Thank goodness.
There's so much to talk about. We're gonna do another one very soon about like everything else. Probably handle a little bit more at Star Wars 9. I mean, why not? We
of course
as it is. And talk about Mandalorian, talk about all things Star Wars Celebration still, and there's so much more to talk about, but we're running out of time. So, hope you guys enjoyed another episode of the Jawa Juice Podcast. As always, I'm Josh, that is Caleb, and we will see you in the next episode of the podcast.